This boy wanted to become a librarian, but his parents expressed disapproval. His father said, "You shouldn't become a librarian. Your brother has already got into the family business. Think of something better." His father began ranting and raving at his decision. The mother, with tears in her eyes, also expressed disapproval. So we see that people express disapproval in several ways. Today, we witness war to express difference of opinion and disapproval. In your real life, also, you would have come across people who express disapproval. While learning the English language, we may come across areas of disappointment, disapproval, and disagreement because learning the English language is okay. You all are doing it, but staying connected to the language is really a task. You know why? Because you don't take the effort. So today's video is going to focus on the things that you can do when you really don't feel like showing up. Do you have days when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't know how to stay connected to the English language? For example, you would have been reading for some time, you would have been engaging in conversations, but you could have some days when you may not feel like showing up, where you're not able to keep up with this consistency. It happens to me. Being a trainer, sometimes I don't feel like showing up. It could be because of my routine, my schedule, or other tasks on my desk. Whatever it is, if you do these things, definitely you can stay connected. By the way, did you notice the word rant and rave? These are verbs. What is the meaning of rant and rave? It means to speak in an uncontrolled or irrational manner, often when you're frustrated, disappointed, angry. Yes, outburst of emotions. So this father expressed disapproval, ranting and raving at the choice and decision of his son. We all have the freedom to express our disagreement, disapproval, difference in opinion, but we need to remember that the right methods of learning can really make a difference. Welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Renee Rose Matthew. I'm a CELTA certified tutor and also your online guide. These are not training sessions, but these are guidelines that I love to share from my experience, from my years of experience training people. Yes, it's not important that you engage in conversational sessions because that's not going to help you build those skills. If you're going to simply speak in English on a daily basis, you may not even identify the errors you're making. You may know, but how to eliminate becomes the next question. Whatever. So I give you the meaning of rant and rave. Remember that you may feel disappointed and even at the lower ebb of energy when you're not able to meet your expectation. But one thing that I would like to remind you is it's not possible to sit and study and spend hours on studying the language. That is not going to help with progressing the skills. Progressive skills come with immersing, also with enjoyment, focus, consistency. At least you should have more intervals of staying connected with the language. It's not just studying and doing everything because that can be overwhelming. I come across a lot of YouTube creators sharing, openly saying that I feel a bit overwhelmed doing all these things at the same time, creating content, studying, doing that, doing this. It's not possible to sit and study because you're working on your skills and not the academics. I know staying connected to the language is not at all easy because you all have other work. You have schedules, some of you are also working. Learning a language is a never ending progress. It is actually a process, progress, and also you should do it with purpose, the 3P that I always remind my learners of. You can find more words with P. Forgetting the purpose of learning the language puts you in a trap. We are not here running a marathon race. It's only for your development. It is for your happiness. You want to gain something in life and maybe share it with others. I did not learn this language thinking that I'm going to become a trainer or share my knowledge in YouTube because we didn't have the idea of YouTube then. Nobody created it. So today we have got this opportunity and this option to learn online, which is really beneficial to many people. That's what I understand. But It is also misleading some people. I'm reiterating on this point because the right methods make a very big change in the progress and in the learning trajectory. Some of you find it very difficult to speak confidently. Confidence is not about just speaking in English every day and connecting with different people from different parts of the world. Of course, it instills confidence, it gives you a lot of courage to face a person and ask questions, answer, think, and then communicate. Communication skill is totally different. And here I have the camera in front of me. I'm talking to you. I feel my objective is to let you know that we have to filter the methods we use on a daily basis. Because today the platforms and methods are innumerable. You just cannot count all the time. And it's important to understand, remind yourself, saying that I have more things, more options today, but you should know, why am I doing this? You should also ask, why am I doing this? How far have I come? How much more to go? Because this is a never ending process, it doesn't end. But still, people unfortunately make grammatical errors. One or two errors, no problem. But the pattern of errors people make when it comes to the basics can really be disturbing. And it's not that you don't know, all of us know. But why do we make these mistakes while speaking is definitely of concern. If it's just one or two mistakes altogether, when you take a paragraph altogether and when you're speaking, if you're not able to identify the error, it's okay. But if you're going to repeat the pattern of error, then definitely it's of concern. So I gave you a word: ranting, raving, and you know the meaning. You can try using it. These are two verbs. Now let's take the verbs separately: rant, rave. These are two separate verbs. Raving also means talking about something in a positive way. When you keep on speaking about something in a positive way, that can be used in that context as well. Raving can also be used in the negative context. She was raving about her achievements, so speaking about it again and again because of happiness. Ranting is generally used in the negative context when you want to say that you're angry, when you want to show that you're disappointed. People just speak in an uncontrollable manner, which is not healthy. And I'm going to read these lines from a book which is going to help you. Your father was ranting and raving with emotion, and your mother was protesting your decision with tears in her eyes. They absolutely do not approve of you becoming a librarian. And if you will not take on the family business like your brother has, they may very well disown you. But how to come to terms with the emotion of not approving is your parents' task, not yours. It is not a problem for you to worry about. It's not that you shouldn't be listening, you shouldn't pay attention to the advice given by your parents or elders. But outburst of emotions, the way people throw words when they're out of control, definitely shows inability to take a decision at that particular point of time. It's not that they are not capable of doing it. When you're angry, when you're too sad, when you're unhappy, when you're disappointed, or when you just begin ranting and raving, you may not be able to take a proper decision. I would say an apt decision. You have to calm down and you have to think about it. Why do we say that you have to calm down? Because you have to be at peace with yourself so that you analyze and take a decision. And it needs time. But when you're at the peak of emotions, when you're too low, can you do that? Not possible. That is why you need to just calm down and analyze and then think of the different angles, take a decision. The courage to be disliked discusses, in fact, several points. It's not your job to convince others when they have this outburst of emotions. People disagree, they may not like the decisions you take in life, but you should take up the responsibility to show or to at least see that things are okay with you. Even if it is a wrong decision, you should take up the responsibility to set it right, to disentangle yourself from the problem. But in our community, sometimes parents force you, they put a lot of pressure, and they may just decide for you, saying that this is what is expected of you. So, here in this context, there's a brother who's got into the family business and they expect something from their elder son, which is okay, it's natural. Imposing a decision is wrong. At the same time, The main point is convincing somebody who's at the peak of emotion. That is what we have to think about here. You can discuss, talk about it, and there are people who do that. They have discussions, but if it's only ordering, commanding, and then just imposing the decision, it can really be unhealthy for everybody in the family. There'll be a point in life when you realize that you have been forced to do something, which can really be frustrating. And that's when you end up ranting and raving. And it happens to everybody, which is quite natural. I know many people who begin learning English just because they want to progress in life, not to share anything on YouTube. You know how many people come to me for training sessions saying that I don't want anything to be published anywhere. I don't run a YouTube channel. I don't have any social media platform, but I just want to invest my time in this. I want to progress. I want to become good in communicating things. So, language skills, communication, it should go hand in hand. That is the purpose of me giving you all these points. So, to summarize everything, fix a schedule. Even if you are not able to do justice to the schedule, is okay, but you will know what you're doing in life. Apart from that, it's not advisable to only focus on accent or just pronunciation, which goes hand in hand, accent and pronunciation, while ignoring your basic grammatical errors. We see many people who focus a lot. I would say they pay a lot of attention to accent, and at the same time, they overlook the basic grammatical errors they keep making in their sentences. What happens is, in the long run, you may end up making a lot of sentences, beautiful thoughts will come to your mind, good. You may forget about these mistakes until somebody corrects you. And you may end up thinking, I've taken too many sessions, I've done a lot of work. Why is it that my basics are not correct? Because accent, pronunciation, all these things, definitely it's part of choice. It's good to work on these things. I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing it. But the structure of sentences definitely matter. And this is what is going to add up to the thoughts. If your sentences are not right, if your sentences wither and fade away as and when you keep speaking, then the communication gets tampered. If you're not able to make proper sentences, and if you still have basic grammatical errors, your communication gets disrupted. I would say hampered. You may have a lot of potential, but maybe somebody will tell you your communication skill is not up to the mark. So you should focus on everything and make sure that you get corrected by tutors, trainers, or even somebody who is good at this. And it's not enough that you just keep speaking in English. Pay attention to these levels, the criteria, the parameters that you have to keep a check on. And you don't have to keep studying every day. Keep burdening and loading your mind with words, phrases, idioms, sentences. I can see some people going through rote learning. They force the rote learning on them, saying, Ma'am, I learned all these phrases, I learned all these idioms. Yes, you can learn words, you can learn idioms and phrases, that's great, but you should know how to use it. Because the structure of the idioms and phrases could be different for you. But remember, everything will come to you through patient, calm reading habit. This is what I have experienced. If you're consistent with reading, your thoughts will also be better. It'll keep developing. It's not that everybody is perfect. I can also see native speakers who make mistakes, who are not having any clarity with their thoughts. But you will be able to articulate your thoughts in a better way. You will feel the difference. So even if you don't want to describe something, reading can definitely help. So don't pay too much attention to only one part, one area of language learning because it's a trend, maybe because it's the requirement of many people who's listening to you. If you're a tutor, if you're a creator, or even if you're just beginning to learn the language, it's not fashion, but it's a passion to become good, to become adept, to be skilled at several areas. Skill is important. Communication skill stands good. It holds good for everybody. I hope you get all the points that I've shared today. And what is the meaning of this? Are you able to remember? If not, don't worry. You can go back to the beginning of the video and then get back to me. Nobody's going to learn everything in the first go. It's okay. You may have to repeat and then you have to recycle, you have to reuse. So, whatever you're doing is great, but make sure that you do all these things and you know all these things to become fluent. Happy learning!